Hello, welcome to the 50 Shades Greener podcast, the show where three widely different worlds collide in the most chaotic way possible. Hosted by me, Raquel, the Spanish eco queen, adopted by Ireland 20 something years ago, Kiri, the Amsterdam based loony with zero filter, and Nasia, the Dublin based Indian princess bringing spice and sense. We're here to unpack culture, identity, sustainability, and all the madness in between. Three women, three backgrounds, one microphone, and no filter. So let's start. Today, we're talking about AI. And not just because it's trendy, but because it is changing the way we work, the way we learn, and even the way we think for some people. So, what are we thinking, ladies? Yay or nay to AI?
Half and half.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so mixed because it's handy and it has so quickly become like the default. I need to Google something and I can default. I don't Google it anymore. I AI it.
Yeah.
We need a better verb for that, but it's something else and it gives you better answers, and it's for like those kinds of quick things it's so efficient, but there's also this like I
like
want
that
to
word
hate it.
handy. I like that word handy, because we like things that are handy, don't we? By default.
Very much.
Yeah.
But it's
handy
also
and it's fast. Everything is fast. Now
handy
nobody's
and immediate.
nobody's struggling. I remember times when we would sit for our research papers back in masters and actually Google and have several tabs open. Like I'm a tab person. I love my tabs. So that's what you call actual research. And now I'm just cut to one tab, which is any of these massive AI platforms out there, and that's it. And that's just taken the fun out of research.
Yeah, it kind of does. I think one of the things that really pickles me, right? Like AI, okay, it is handy and it is going to have, its function in the world. But I look at it from the perspective of, how much money is right now invested into the AI industry, right? Like it's the most invested industry of our times at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not going to solve world hunger. It's definitely not going to solve water scarcity. It's not solving inequalities. So it's kind of like, it's not solving any of humanity's biggest issues.
Yeah.
What the heck are we doing? It's like, would
Yeah.
anybody put that much money and effort in solving, humanity's
Actual problems.
Yeah.
No, but that's because solving humanity's problems also doesn't really make you money.
Yes. Where's the profitability in making people, fit
There's
and
no
healthy?
profitability in women's education and solving world hunger. It's just you do that out of, I don't know, a sense of altruism maybe, or just to not be a shitty person.
But honestly, I think it's a case of some people still need to starve, because honestly, because it's where is philanthropy going to kick in, where are you going to show these pictures of starving babies and, entice people to show the social sides, so it's a whole gesture of being out there for the world, which these rich, wealthy people can then partake of, this is an image mongering of sorts. So I think that is what's still being intact, I just want to add there that one of the largest AI summits actually just happened in India. And one of the most jarring comments that I heard was from Sam Altman, a good friend, or not so much, who said basically that it's much more efficient to have an AI model as opposed to a human person, because the human person takes up to 20 years of training to become productive, whereas an AI model takes a fraction of that time. So essentially, it's a question of, okay, where is the humanity in any of this, And when you hear people who are definitely in position of power say things like that, I'm questioning okay, then do I not produce kids? Because clearly an AI model can do better, if there's going to be no work for my baby in the future and an AI CEO is going to, run the companies, then, what's there for us?
I'm literally seeing ads on Instagram for the last 2 weeks telling me to fire my entire marketing department because I can get an AI. I know, I'm like, bye, Kiri. Good luck and thanks.
Come back.
Yeah. We're laughing, but it's not funny.
Yes.
I want to pick up on a thing that you said about there still need to be hungry people, because is it possible that it wouldn't be possible to have billionaires in the world if there weren't poor people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
So is that why they don't want to solve
Yeah.
humanity's biggest problems? Because if we solved our bigger problems and people rised up to the middle, then those ones at the top will have to come down to.
Yeah.
I think
of
that's
course.
capitalism 101.
Yes. Yeah.
Money
You need
rules
a
the
degree
world.
of exploitation.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So it's like, even, I mean, and it's really important to mention the hypocrisy of anyone who does want to improve the world. Like, if you're in enough of a position of power that you can make these changes, then you also have to some degree, recognize you are winning, maybe not winning, but you're doing well in the current system. And if we change that system entirely, like there's so much more uncertainty. So this is something that I think a lot about, is the hypocrisy of it, of wanting to change a system that you kind of, but there's also going to be that piece of you that's thinking, but it kind of is working for me. So do I really want to change it? Like, am I the one starving? No.
Because we are in that bracket, all three of us,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
super privileged.
Yeah.
And here we are, teaching programs that we feel would change the way things work in humanity. But do we really, it's like Kiri poses that question, do we really want things to change in a system that works for us?
Yeah.
It's because I think there's always a veil,
Next
you don't know what
podcast.
is.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight after hearing that one. Jesus, Kiri.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel it's almost like a veil out there. You don't know what is on the other side of it, right? So you're just sort of trying to, come to an answer which still makes sense. And I think with every technological boom, we lived through a generation of phones, and then phones came in, and we had our Blackberries and our Nokias, and then suddenly you had all these apps like Messenger and Outlook or whatever, So yeah, we got connected and all of that happened, and it was all very exciting. But at this point, how machine learning is progressing or AI is progressing, it's more fearful than confidence boosting for me, because if it's going to take away my job, it's going to take away my livelihood, why am I supporting it? Right? I mean, we've not touched upon the whole data center aspect of it, but that's a living reality, There is a lot of water stress that's going to be produced because of these massive data centers across China, across India, the largest, developing economies for that matter. And then that's the thing, like, that's what I'm saying, that the starving kid remains starving, because that's what the energy is going for. It's going towards, keeping the data centers running, not essentially feeding this young child, There's this area in India called GB Nagar near the capital of India, which has been starved when it comes to water resources. There's literally no water. There's one tanker that comes in at an unscheduled time during the day, and that's the only source of clean water for that entire community of some 2,000 families, right?
Yeah.
And in that same area, there's now the Adani Group, which is responsible for much of the coal mining in India, has been given the contract to build the largest data center of India. This is in the aftermath of the AI summit.
What a lovely organization.
I know.
Exactly. So you kill our trees firstly, and then you build these data centers, you use up all our water, and you're the one who's making all the money.
Yeah.
So what are we solving here with our FSG training programs when you've got all of these big clients and contractors doing massive, massive damage out there?
I know, yeah. Like there is a statistic out there that in 1 year, AI uses the same amount of drinking water as 2 billion people would.
Yeah.
In 1 year, 2 billion. And yet there is 1.9 billion people suffering from water scarcity every single year. So it's like we're doubling the problem by bringing AI into the equation and the amount of water that it requires. But to certain level, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but to certain level though, aren't our governments responsible for putting the right legislation and the right systems behind all this? So I've always say here, like when they were talking about building a big data center here in Ennis, in our local town, they were saying it was going to draw as much energy as the entire town of Ennis, right?
Yeah.
And that it could mean in the future that there could be, faults in the grid or not enough electricity for everybody, for the town or the data center. And my thought process was always when they go for planning permission, would they not say you need to install enough solar panels to cover all of your electricity needs?
Yeah.
You get planning if you do that. And if you don't, well, then you don't get planning.
Yeah.
And same as investing in like water recycling systems so that they can use the same water all the time. So aren't our governments responsible to a certain extent and our planning authorities to kind of monitor, I guess, data centers?
I think in an ideal world they should be.
Yeah.
But it depends also how much faith you're putting in your government.
Not that much, Julie.
I know. I wouldn't go so far to say I'm an anarchist, but
that's our third podcast.
Don't believe what?
That's our third podcast.
Yeah.
Anarchy, not so much, or maybe just some.
Maybe
just a tad.
A little bit, like not full anarchy, not a full free for all, because people can be horrible, but definitely not what we currently have. Like,
yeah,
agreed. Yeah, completely agreed. We can't even look after our own water. Anyway, before the data centers came in, we couldn't look after our own water here in Ireland. So there you go. At least it's not privatized yet. Anyway, that's that's a saving grace.
Yeah, yet.
I mean, is there a question that like should there be like I don't know, like an alternate infrastructure built first that is powered by renewables, and then we look at expanding a technology that is going to put an added strain on our resources? Like, why don't we think the other way around? Why are we always like, oh yeah, let's get something very damaging out there first because it's profitable, and then look at how we can offset its damages? Why can't we look at, okay, we know it's going to be damaging, but we also think that it can help support, for example, I don't know, cancer research, because it is, AI is helping in that regard. It is helping, even education for that matter. So why are we not more solution focused and more like, oh, let's build the problem first, really invest in it, and then we look at like, how to safeguard ourselves, because the planet is already so doomed, and it's like it doesn't have more to give us. Give it a break now,
I think those people that are designing the AI, that they don't think the planet's doomed. They just want to innovate and come up with a new thing, and they don't really care about the consequences.
What is it going to take for them to wake up is my question. Like, what more has to be done? Like, you've got
it's not going to be us.
I know. We'll give it our best go, though.
But look at the other thing. Yeah, I know we said we will not prepare for any of these podcasts. It's just whatever comes into our heads. But I did wanted to do something that I did this morning. I went to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, is AI sustainable?
Yeah.
And I won't tell you all the things that he threw out at me, but he said, yes, it is really good for sustainability. In summary, it uses fewer resources. Really? It reduces pollution. I was like, how? It protects ecosystems, he said. And people will make better environmental decisions with AI. That was a summary of
I think ChatGPT needs a therapist.
I was shocked. I said, okay, even AI is greenwashing now.
Yeah.
I know. Of its own volition.
It believes in some bullshit.
Yeah. I think it's a very good point that AI should also be absolutely taken with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
Like all the AI platforms I know say like, oh, but AI can also sometimes be wrong. Haha. Like just, do secondary research, knowing full well no one is gonna be doing secondary research like you put in your question is, because so many people who don't know about sustainability might truly be asking ChatGPT and wanting to get an answer and go, is it sustainable? Like, I don't know. I don't know these terms. I don't know the jargon. I don't know the acronyms. And getting an answer like that. And then they go, oh, okay, very nice. And like they walk away from it thinking, and that's like reasonable, intelligent adults who can do that, because if you don't know better, you don't know better. And we're trusting it really heavily.
I think that's the crux of my fear with it, is
Yeah.
that it's not slowly, very quickly inserted itself into every household in the
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
and we trust it. And that
Yeah.
there is a danger to something like that,
Absolutely.
huge
I think
danger.
Absolutely. Especially if you
almost
consider, sorry, just quickly, because it's something I've also been thinking about a lot with AI, is how biased it is, right? Most of these large AI models are being programmed, are being trained by white males, like
Yeah.
cis white males
Here we
of
go,
a
the
very
white male.
certain, of a very certain mental standing and having certain
Yeah.
political views and certain views on the world. And that's who's training these models. So these models
Yeah.
are inherently biased, and that's dangerous. In a world
Yeah.
that's already so biased, having that like confirmation, having a system that's telling you that your biases are totally correct and they're fine and you keep going like that, is really the opposite of, I think, how we should progress.
Yeah.
Very good point.
I think it's almost creating like an alternate reality. Like
Yeah.
this is not the real world. This is just something that's in a cloud somewhere. And that it's like you said, Kiri, that it's just feeding biases that are already hard to deal with in the real world. But then an entire generation is relying on the prompts and the responses it gets from ChatGPT, which has been trained in a certain way. And that's literally educating ourselves to believe a certain narrative, which may not entirely be the truth, right? Which brings me to the point about how AI is deceiving us all, like the falsehood and the truth of the matters, because it says things like, yeah, don't trust the response you get from ChatGPT, and do your own research, but nobody's really doing that. You're just going like, yeah, it must be right. It must be right. Let's just
I
believe it,
don't
right?
have time for
You don't
research.
have time.
Yeah.
Again, it's the whole like,
busy.
oh yeah, get things
Have to go
done,
buy in Temu.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This thing will take my job. I got to work harder. I don't have time to check fact check
to sip it. Exactly. And I don't want to upset it, because if it, years down the line, yeah, you don't know if AI becomes like an actual thing, and then it comes, going like, oh, you did this and you were,
Don't
yeah.
tell
So
me you say
when
please and thank
Terminator
you.
rises
please
up,
say
they're going to
please
be
and
like, but
thank you.
Nausea was always very polite.
Exactly. That's what's going to save me, guys. Politeness. Adding the full stop will. So yeah, but it's scary. It's let's not debunk the myth that, oh, it's all hunky dory. The fact is that it is creating an alternate reality, which is maybe far away from truth and the reality that we're living in.
Yeah. But the other thing I did to prepare for this podcast was I went for a walk this morning and I put on a podcast on my ears that was recorded in June last year with Sam Altman being the guest speaker. And he has kids himself. So the interviewer was asking him, and when you're developing these things, like, are you thinking of your kids and their future? And he's like, yeah, of course I am, and they're going to live in a very different world than I am, which is completely true, whether there is AI or not. But then the interviewer said to him, and do you think it's good that kids use it for educational purposes? And Sam Altman says, yes, we've done some studies, and if AI used in the class is so helpful, the results were so good. And then the interviewer says, but what about children using it outside of the classroom? And Sam says, yeah, the results are not that good, but kids are resilient and society will figure it out.
Oh, of course. That's it.
Oh no.
It's like, you have children yourself.
Of your own, yeah.
I can't, I don't know how to reconcile things like that on my head.
No, I don't either. And it also, I mean, I also spent I have big issues with the education system as it stands. But I would like to hope that with the introduction of AI, that, education systems would take a hint and go, okay, maybe then we pull back from these like standardized tests and giving out homework and assignment just for the sake of it, and focus more on discussion-based learning, critical thinking, like things that fundamentally AI cannot teach you, and you also cannot use it in that capacity. And then we could actually like support better like
AI
education. Yeah, better humans, smarter people. And it's just everywhere you turn, I feel like the opposite is happening.
Yeah.
Schools are like, yeah, because, you know, like AI is so often used, we just give more essays and more assignments and more this because we know people are going to be using AI. And I'm thinking you're just feeding into the problem instead of going, okay, let's take a step back, recognize that this tool exists and learn how to work with it to better our education system or better our systems in general. And I think I'm just giving people more credit than they're due with that belief. Because I really thought, I was like, oh, this could be really good for an education system that I already frown upon and I see a lot of issues with. This could be a great thing. And then just disappointment immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember growing up, we were taught the whole like the Gurukul system, which is basically you grow up very close to nature and that nature is your teacher, you know, so you would actually have your classes outside under a tree, you know, and your tutor would come in and just teach you about life, you know, and I feel with the whole AI thing that, you know, essentially the humanity of humans is disappearing, you know, like at the end of the day, we're here just for a very short span of time, you know, we're supposed to love each other and take care of each other. And, you know, I'm a very like philosophical and art
that
loving
doesn't
person.
make money, Nasia.
Exactly. That was my whole point, you know, but it's, you know, it's free flowing, you know, it's relaxed, you know, you don't need a lot to fill your life up with, you know, I'm very much of that mentality, right? But that's like I said, like the alternate reality is that no, you can't live like that. So if I were to choose to have a child now and put them in a Gurukul system, you know, they would be considered failures because they won't be hireable, firstly, and then they won't be able to compete with the AI bots they need to be competing against to land jobs, right? So they're doomed already, which is why my whole point is don't have the child.
That's another episode.
I know.
Well, there's been a lot of fun. We're 25 minutes talking, so we're going to leave it there. And we will be back again. If you want to tell us what topic you want us to talk about, just send us an email, info@50shadesgreener.ie. Until next week.
See ya.
Bye.